Good day, everybody. Tracy Brown here. I hope you're doing well. This is your somatic nutrition therapist and attuned eating specialist. And today's a little mishmash of some stuff that I've gotten some questions about that I thought I would just answer today and give you some stuff to be working on maybe for the next couple days until I talk to you again. So before we get going, if you have a chance, I want you to just take a breath or have a sigh or whatever it is right now that we can do to help you just be a little bit more here, right this second. Be with me, not what's going to happen next, or what you have to do in 3 hours or tomorrow, or what happened yesterday. Just find your feet, notice if you can feel any kind of breath. If you have a breath, I know we all have it, we're breathing right now, but if you can notice that you're even breathing and that you're not doing the breathing. Okay, so just try to stay present as we talk together, and I'm open to any questions today, so if you can type them as I'm talking and I'll answer them. I've got some time. I leave some space open on Fridays just for this, so if we take a little bit more time than usual, that's great, and I want to be here with you. So I'm just going to jump into some questions I've already gotten this week, and if you have more as I'm talking, add to. All right, so this week I have been talking a ton around nutrition, intuitive eating, how that works, how it's a match. So I'm not going to go over all the videos because I did 3 this week already on the topic. So if you haven't checked those out, this is the week of the first week of October 2018. So go back and look at the previous 3 videos I've done this week around that. So I do want to talk a little bit more though about that topic when it comes to if you do have a diagnosis and you're in recovery and you're working on your intuitive eating path, is that don't try to rush it. So if you don't have to make a lot of food changes just for the sake of like, well, I think I should be eating more fruit and vegetables, let's say, but you're really not there yet and you're forcing it because it either feels like you should or you're worried about what other people think about your nutrition, don't do it. It's a big setup for not necessarily relapse with restricting or binging or whatever, but it could just be like this mental torment that's just not necessary. So don't do it. Now, if it feels like it's really necessary, like if I don't keep eating, if I keep, let's say, again, making it very, I always like to give examples of the opposite of what diet culture will tell you, that a food that could maybe hurt your stomach or give you heartburn or whatever. Let's say it's broccoli. And it's like if I'm eating broccoli, often, and if I keep eating broccoli, my stomach's going to hurt every single day. I would say that, ease back on the broccoli and get some feedback on your body about that if you really need to do that. Now, I know there are medical exceptions. There totally are. I mean, I've worked in clinical stuff a long time ago, and there were some circumstances where if a person ate a certain kind of food, sometimes even on a daily basis, that could kill them. So I'm not saying that you should do that. Absolutely not. But I am saying that it's really important for you to look at the big picture of where you're at and where you are at in the process. So, and what you can tolerate. There might be a condition where it's like, oh man, I just want to feel better. I want something to be better. And it's really important to do what you feel like you've got to do supportively, depending on what's important. So I'm going to leave it at that. I've had a lot of questions this week around hunger, around basically I just ate, but I feel hungry again. Should I eat? People ask me that question. Well, I'm not sure if I'm hungry. Should I eat? I would say, yeah. Always do the opposite of what diet culture or disordered eating talk in your head says. So if you're not sure if you're hungry, have something. And what you'll do is you'll find out oh yeah, I can easily eat this. I should go ahead and, of course, I need to take care of myself and eat. If you eat something, you're like, yeah, I think I was hungry, then stop. Not a big deal. The only time that's the problem is if you're trying to get renourished and you just really need to eat even if you're not super hungry or it doesn't make you super full. It just kind of needs to happen. Of course, if you're in that position, I do hope you have some support around that, because that can be a difficult and confusing time, and I know it's not always easy to trust your body, to trust that you know what you need to do on your own. That being said, I know a lot of people who are just like, I'm burning the boat, I'm burning that bridge, I'm not getting back on that boat ever again, to questioning what my body needs me to do. And right now I'm really craving muffins, so I'm going to eat, 6 muffins today, throughout the day, and doing what I need to do. That's totally something that you might need to just do. So I don't know if that's helpful, but when it comes to extreme hunger, if you're not familiar with that term, it happens a lot of times when you've been in a longer term period of food restriction. We're talking probably months, years of not eating. I basically call it like calorie debt. Like you've not eaten enough for a really long time. It can happen if you're not at your natural weight. You can be more at your natural weight and that happen as well. But it's almost like you kind of have to respect the debt. It's like you're gonna probably have lots of head spinning, food, thinking about it all the time when you're gonna eat next, if you've been restricting for any amount of time. And people think that means they're emotional eating or they're compulsively thinking about food all the time. A lot of times that's just from the bank is pretty empty and you need to refill. And that's where people sometimes question, well, I just ate. Why am I thinking about food again? Well, it's either because you need to either get a lot more satisfied and you're not eating in a satisfactory kind of way. You have a calorie debt. And it could be emotional, but again, you have to look at like, well, am I also at a debt? If you got both going on, there's a high percentage that like both are happening, So it's like it's hard to deal with the emotional eating if you're at a debt or a deficit or have had some deprivation. So that has to be dealt with. That's just kind of how it is as well. And I know that can be scary, but I just want to lay it out there really transparently to y'all. And then just in general, I've had some questions, more than one, around just recovery and what keeps people going and why are you even doing this? And, I know that people don't just recover because they're strongly motivated. I mean, I think we have to feel safe and be willing. You don't even have to fully trust people, but we have to have some willingness. The willingness has to be there to, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if I even believe fully that this is going to work, but I'm willing. I'm willing to maybe look at the fact that there are a lot of people who are saying that they've done some things that they're suggesting me try. And I just have to maybe look at them as a testament to like what's possible versus believing that could happen for me. Or, I know a lot of people that's like, I burned that bridge. I'm not going back. So if I have a thought that it's about, I don't need to eat as much as everybody says I do, or, I don't really need as much as my body's even telling me. If you're having those thoughts and if you're wanting to really move forward, there's a level of like, any of these thoughts that aren't life affirming, probably aren't in my best interest, even if that's what I'm used to, even if that's what I've trusted more than people, even if that makes me feel safer, that doesn't mean that it's actually true. Even if I can't believe, or I'm kind of putting my head in the sand about like how following those thoughts, where that's kind of led me, even if it's hard for me to see that, maybe something else could be true or better for me. So if you can have the willingness to have those kind of thoughts, that might help you. If you're on the end of the spectrum where it's like, I'm pretty good with the intuitive eating thing. I don't know how to let go of wanting to lose weight or just being okay with this body. It's like, well, one, what do we still get out of holding on to the idea that you have to lose weight? Because even if you are really good at intuitive eating and you're getting your meals together and you're nourishing yourself really well and you feel good about that, but you still want to lose weight, it's like, okay, what are the costs of doing that? And most of my clients will say like, yeah, it's not worth the cost. I'm not going to do it, but I still wish I weighed less. And I'm just like, yeah, it's a hard one. With the conditioning we all have living in the cultures that we do, to not want that. And I'm not saying that like there wouldn't be some comforts that came along with that. I get that. And it's just hard to grieve. It's just hard to grieve that, like, maybe I'd be a little more comfortable doing, maybe, and that's a big maybe, depending on your fitness level and that kind of stuff. Um, but what I want to say is that, like, maybe some of those things would be easier, but what's the cost of having to force it to happen in the timetable that you want it to happen anyway? So it's still that thing. And so I always encourage people to really look at, like, what's the driver of that still? Like, what's happening that still might be driving that little bit of, like, I still want it to happen, I still want it to happen, I still want it to happen. That could be still this underlying internal somatic discomfort, buzz, whatever. Even though you still will have, like, maybe some physical discomforts that, like, I don't want to accept that I have those. That could be what you're working with. I still haven't fully grieved. Like, this is the body I'm in. It may change over the course of 5 or 10 years with my intuitive eating efforts. It might. But do I want to the whole time still be wishing that I weighed less, knowing that I can only make that happen maybe if I put effort into consciously restricting? Do I want to live that way? Knowing that I might lose weight, I might not. Do I want to stay in that headspace? And if the answer is no, you might find that, like, what's driving that is still this underlying little bit of, like, something in your life is not feeling very comfortable. And really putting those efforts there, in spite of the fact that you might be also putting efforts into feeling more physically comfortable within and with the body you have. So it's a lot. I'm rambling a little because I understand how much of a lot it is, but it's important to even get out a sheet of paper and write down, like, here are the physical discomforts I have, that I think I have, or I feel like I have, and what I do about those, and what really annoys me about all that. And it may be that it's like, I don't want to put that much time and effort to myself. And the question would be, like, well, how come? How come you don't feel like you have, or that you deserve that time and effort? And maybe it's like, well, because I really want to be spending this time and doing X, Y, Z. And I would say that's what we have to grieve then. For now. For now. So, those are just some questions that I've gotten this week. So I'm just putting all the questions out there for people who want to circle back around. If you're watching and listening now, thank you so much for all those different topics that you kind of had to listen to and go walk through. And I would love to hear your thoughts or feedback around, yeah, I relate to that, or that's not exactly my thing, but I can empathize, or it's not exactly where I'm at, but I can use that for other things more where I'm at. And I'll just leave it since I don't have any questions here, and I'm going to hang out until people say, like, yeah, I'm not a second, and if people don't have any questions, I'm going to kind of move on to my closing here. But yeah, so what I want to remind you of, if you're having issues on health, nutrition kind of things, go back and listen to the rest of the videos. You can come back and tag me at any time throughout my life here on Facebook, or LinkedIn, or wherever else I'm at, hanging out to answer these kind of questions. But I guess, YouTube, whatever. But what I want to say finally is that wherever you're at, wherever you're stuck at, whatever is heavy on your heart, is that, there is a way out. It's a matter, honestly, of surrendering a lot of it. Like, literally looking at it, handing it over, and recognizing that whatever level you've been trying to think your way out of it, probably is not going to get you there. This is really, like, not just a head strategy thing. This is a heart thing, a soul thing of seeing, sometimes it's getting rid of things that are just too much, and sometimes it's adding to what's, having a better solution or different solution to what it is that's weighing you down. A lot of times I think it's getting rid of some stuff, like letting go. A lot of times it's actually letting go of some old beliefs or some old things that we are believing that we need to hold on to be safe or to be lovable or whatever. So sometimes it's not more strategy or more learning or more stuff. Sometimes it's letting go. So whether that's beliefs about health, nutrition, our bodies, what we think we need to do to feel special or lovable or be somebody or whatever it is, sometimes it's that. So if you join late, I might have answered your question earlier in the chat, or in the video, so please go back and listen to the beginning. I am getting ready to sign off, unfortunately, you guys. I gotta go on to the next thing. So everybody who just joined, thank you for coming. Please go back to the beginning. I answered all kinds of questions. If you have a question that, or a thought that I didn't talk about today, then please tag me, ask the question, tag me. Please go ahead or private message me, whatever feels more comfortable to you. But I'm signing off for today. I will see you next week with a new topic. And I did, it's really awesome. I had asked this question of you all last week, and I had somebody email me like 5 different topics, so that they wanted to do that. So please do that, because I will get to them in some kind of way. It might be just in a single video, or it might be in a series like I did this week. So anyway, thank you all for coming, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.